So welcome to this my channel. And this video I'm gonna talk about the difference between the var and the let. As you guys know from my the topic or my YouTube header, whatever that is. And I just want to let you guys know that this gonna be a little series of ES6 features. And as you know, the ES6 has been in JavaScript for a while now. And but I thought that let's talk about some of the features of the ES6 because it will also help me to revise and to understand better. And so I thought that I'll make a video for it. And let's begin. I'm using the VS Code editor here, and I'm using a Brave browser. Brave browser. I can't even pronounce well today. But anyway, I'm using a Brave browser, and I'm using a creator index.html page, and there is my script, and the script is here. And if I do console log, then we will see a console log right here. All right, so let's discuss about the difference between the var, let, and constant. The first, let's discuss about the var and a let. So var is a function scope. Is a function scope. So what that mean? So it's available inside the functions anywhere. If I do in a function, create another functions called hungry. If I do var here, I'll create a food here. And if I do here food, if I call this functions, and if I do food, this will not even work because it's available only inside the functions. So that's why it's called function scope. And the let also a function scope. Just want to tell you that the let also a function scope. So food is not defined. It's outside the function because let also a function scope. Both are function scope, but the very var is not a block scope. The let is a block scope. So what that really mean? That really mean is if I create a for loop, the for loop is a one block. And if I define something here inside in a variable, and if I don't worry about the for loop here, I'm just gonna focus it on this variable. And if I say food, and if I say here burger, I'm just gonna remove this. So now if I save, it's not gonna do anything. And if I do a console log, which is outside of the for loop, don't worry about the functions as well. I'll just remove, but you can leave a function. It doesn't even matter. So if I do food here, then the burger will print out, even even though it's a you put assign it inside the for loop. So that's why the var is not a block scope. But if I put let here, then it says the food is not defined. So even though the let is defined here, right? It says it's not even defined because let is only available inside the for loop. It's not gonna be available outside the for loop because the for is a block scope. That's the difference between the var and the let. So what's a constant now? So what the heck is constant, right? So constant is similar like let is the same thing. It's a block scope, and the only difference between the constant and let is constant you can only define at one time. You can assign that same variable again. You mean the override the same variable again. For example, if I say the food, there is one guy. This is just an example. There must be one guy who only eat a food burger in one day, but he don't wanna eat that food again. I mean, he don't wanna. If he wanna eat the food, the same food, I mean, if he wanna eat a different food in one day, maybe he wanna eat a sandwich, right? then what happened? I don't have to print this at all. If I save this, then it says that assignment to constant variable type error. So that means he can't eat a different food in one day. Similar like that, you can only eat a burger. That's all. That means the constant. You can only define a variable in one time. You can assign it again. So if I put a lid here, but yes, you can override this again. So there is no issue here. But if I print this console and log, and if I do food, then sandwich is gonna be print definitely because it's overriding it. So that's the difference between the lit and the constant, which is pretty simple, I guess. So okay, so that's all for this video, guys. And on next video, I'm gonna talk about another feature of ES6 JavaScript syntax. I hope this guys will help you, and please like or subscribe on the channel for more tutorials. Thank you very much.